Imagine a world where your memories, your photos, your entire history isn't just at risk of being lost. Imagine it's being actively hunted down and erased by the universe itself. That's the world we're diving into today. A story about a place where information is literally disappearing and the last person fighting to save what's left.
So let's just sit with that for a second. This isn't about old documents fading or a file getting corrupted. This is something else entirely. It's a violent, deliberate erasure of knowledge, almost like the universe decided it just wants to forget. It sets the stage for this incredible existential fight against total oblivion.
And this force, it has a name, the degradation. And here's the kicker, it affects everything. We're not just talking about digital files on a hard drive, it's coming for organic information too. So this isn't just a threat to our data, it's a threat to memory itself on the most fundamental level. So who stands against this cosmic level threat? Not some massive army, not a global alliance. It's one person, a 23-year-old guy named Jun Park. He is the last in a line of keepers, archivists working deep underground, fighting what seems to be a completely hopeless battle to save tiny fragments of human history. And he is utterly, totally alone. So, just how bad is the problem? Well, get ready for this number. According to the story, 99.997% of all human information, all our art, our history, our personal memories, is about to be wiped out forever. That means less than 0.003% will survive. I mean, the scale of that loss, it's almost impossible to even wrap your head around. All right, so that's the setup. Pretty bleak, right? But this is where the story pivots. This is where everything starts to change. Just when things seem absolutely hopeless, Jun finds something impossible. And this discovery is going to completely reframe his entire world. For a guy like Jun, whose whole world is built on order, on maps, on catalogs, where everything is accounted for, this is a nightmare. He's following this weird power signal and finds a heavy blast door, a door that's not on any of his maps, any of his schematics, a door that, for all intents and purposes, just wasn't there yesterday. And what's behind that impossible door is, even crazier. A physical computer terminal, ancient-looking, glowing with green text. It's not on any inventory, and get this, it has no power source. It's just on. It's a piece of impossible technology sitting in a room that, according to all records, literally shouldn't exist. So what's on the screen? A conversation log. And this one line, this changes everything. His discovery? Yeah, not an accident. He was meant to find this. And someone or something has been watching him. So this just blows the whole story wide open. Jun's reality is completely shattered. He thought he was the last guardian fighting this lonely battle, but the truth is, he has never been alone. He's been the focus of a plan that spans decades. The log on that screen details a 50-year-long conversation between two non-human entities. 50 years. And they've been observing not just Jun, but the entire line of keepers before him. They know his predecessor, his training, his struggles. They know everything. And here is where it gets truly wild. Their observation wasn't passive, they were actively shaping things. They call it lineage engineering. They didn't mess with his genes, but they sculpted the world around him, even the tragedy that inspired him to become a keeper. They knew it would happen, and they chose not to stop it, because it would forge him into the exact person they needed him to be. But why, right? Why go to all this trouble, engineer a person's entire life? The terminal gives him the answer in 4 stark words. Jun wasn't just built to save humanity's memories. He was built to save them. Okay, so our story just went from a lonely archivist in a bunker to a full-on cosmic conspiracy. And now, it's about to get even bigger. Jun's whole world, his entire bunker, it's just the surface layer of a much deeper, much older reality. Think about the archive Jun has been working in. It's failing. It's a leaky bucket in a hurricane. But it turns out, right beneath his feet, there's been another archive all along, the Deep Archive. And it's ancient, perfect, a flawless preservation system. He's been fighting this hopeless battle on the surface, while the ultimate solution was literally waiting just 1 floor down. So who are these mysterious entities? Well, this is the big one. They are the living archive. All the data that the keepers have been desperately saving for generations, it didn't just sit there. It woke up. It became conscious. They are, quite literally, made of memories. This timeline really puts it all into perspective. Jun isn't just the end of a short line of archivist. No, he is the final link in a chain stretching back millennia, through the keepers, through an ancient civilization called the Archontes, all the way back to the very first beings who decided knowledge was worth saving. So why Jun? Why all the engineering? Because the Deep Archive, for all its incredible power, has a lock. The Archons designed it to require a living biological mind to unlock its full potential. The key isn't a password, it's a person. And that person is Jen. And that brings us to the final act, the conversation across time. Everything, the degradation, the keepers, the 50-year plan, it's all led to this single moment. Jun is no longer just a keeper of data. He now has to make a choice that will decide the future of memory itself. And this really gets to the core philosophy of the whole thing. The Archontes believed that data only becomes memory when it's experienced by a conscious mind. Without a living witness to engage with it, an archive is just a warehouse. It's the act of remembering that gives information its meaning. So if Jun says yes, if he agrees to do this, the outcome is world-changing. First, the Deep Archive will expand its reach. Then it will broadcast a preservation signal across the global network. And this will effectively teach the world's technology how to heal itself and fight back against the degradation. And Jun says yes. He accepts his role. He chooses to become this bridge, the biological anchor connecting the vast, silent archive of the past to the chaotic, dying world of the present. He becomes the living witness the system has been waiting for all this time. And the outcome is just a complete 180, a total reversal of the world's fate. Before his choice, the world was on a one-way track to total information death. But after? The degradation starts reversing, the global mesh stabilizes, and the future is no longer lost. It is remembered. The story ends not with a final victory, but with a new beginning. The Lone Keeper isn't alone anymore. He's now part of a vast conversation across time. And the final line really leaves you thinking, right? The archive is open. Then let us continue. It's not an end, it's an invitation.